Hi. Okay, I'm trying something out today because our solar water heater, the temperature has been getting like ridiculously hot. And it's been going on for a few months. I've noticed it because I normally, when I turn on my water, I see we have one lever, not two knobs, right? Hot and cold. It's just the one lever, and you push it back for hot and you pull it forward for cold. Now, normally when I wash dishes, I push it all the way back, and I'm like, oh, where's the hot water? I have to wait for it, wait for it. And it used to bother me. Honestly, it did. But um, it was you had to wait. That was the whole point. You did have to wait for it. And in the past few months, I've noticed I turned that thing on the way I normally did, and I've been doing it for a long time, but I turned it on the way I normally did, and it would burn me. Like, whoa, that's way too hot. And I'd pull it forward, pull it forward. I was like, wow, why is it so hot? So anyway, that's been happening for a while. And so I pull it forward, and I'm able to manage. Now it happens in the shower. I normally turn that hot water on all the way, and again, it's just one knob you turn for hot and cold, right? So I'm so used to. I've lived in this house for 20 something years. Of course, we haven't had solar water for that long. It's probably been a few years, but ever since we got it, I would still have to turn that water all the way up, and that was good for me. And I would take a shower like that. But in the past few months, there's no way I could do that. I have to like whoa all the way back down, practically just very little turn. Which if you're used to it, I mean that's fine, But I'm not used to it, so I'm still continually like ow, right? And luckily for me, I have quick reactions. I'm able to turn it down pretty quickly. But I'm thinking children, if they ever get in there like that, they could get really badly hurt, because the temperature has actually been as high as like 160. When I check it out here, it's up to 160, 150, anywhere from 140 probably is pretty average now. Um, on a sunny day, and this even happens at night. So it's like taking I don't know if it really has anything to do with the sun because it happens at night. If it didn't happen at night, maybe. And we have like a lot of people living in our house, so I don't think it's lasting that long. This tank, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, back to the point. The point is it is too hot, and I have grandchildren, 5 years old, and they come over and use the bathroom, wash their hands, and again in the bathroom sink, it's one lever. Again, just one lever up, right for cold, left for hot, whatever. But when you turn it on just straight up, man, that thing is hot, like really, really hot. Like, and I don't want them to get hurt. I don't want them to get burned, right? So I've been trying to figure it out. I called the company who installed our solar once, and they didn't really give me much info. Suggested maybe pressing the reset button, which didn't need to be done because we're getting hot water. That's more like if it switches off, I think. Then that's the only time the hot water, that reset button will work. Anyways, I called them again today because it really does bother me. And I was hoping they'd give me some really good information. And of course, the first thing he suggested was, well, teach the kids to turn on the cold water first and slowly turn on the hot water. And I'm like, okay, how old, I'm thinking to myself, how old I am, and I am still getting burned because I am used to one thing, and I can't expect them to know how to turn the lever slightly to the right instead of the left, and it's actually going straight up when it's like burning hot. So they would have to go all the way to the right when they turn it on. And so anyways, I thought, okay, no, that's kind of like not the best solution for me. So I asked, isn't there anything else that I can do? I said, like something I can open and adjust. I'm able to do that. And so he suggested maybe turning down the knob that allows the hot water to go through. And that will send less hot water in compared to the cold water, when you do turn on your water. And I'm like, okay, well, that might work, but isn't there anything else? And I asked him about that little box up there that has some adjustments, and he said, well, you can try and turn down the high limit and see if that makes a difference. If that works. I said, he says, because it's probably set at like 200 right now, And when I looked at it, it was very close. And I told him, I said, why is it set there anyways? If 120 is like where it should be, as far as the temperature we receive, why would we want it set at 190 to 200? That makes no sense. And he says, well, that's just what they do. All right, so go ahead and take a look in there. There's two knobs. One says turn on and one says high limit. Now the turn on, as I understand it, means that that would be the differential between the collector and the storage tank. So if the temperature on the collector is that much different from the storage tank, then it'll turn on and start to heat it to get it back to the, I guess, the temperature that's set. And the high limit, my understanding would be that that would be the highest that you would want your storage tank to be. So if your storage tank is set to 200, it's going to be pretty hot, right? Now, if I lower that to say maybe 120, 130, and see how that changes things, because we don't want it higher than that. And I guess maybe even our electric bill will go down too, because I'm guessing if we want it at 200, or that's the high limit, then at night, if it's not at 200, then it'll turn on, and you know, as long as we didn't set any restriction on the time, it'll turn on to try and heat it up. Maybe not to 200, but higher. So if I lower it to say 120, 125, around there if I can, then maybe that will prevent it from getting scalding hot. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. Okay, so I went ahead and turned it. You can see it's a big difference, and I'm hoping that that'll be good and not bad. We shall find out. I mean, all it takes is turning it back. If I find that we're not getting any hot water or not enough hot water, right, then I can just adjust it. At least I'll know if we don't get enough that it made a difference and that was a good thing to touch. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so you can see that currently it's like at 140, which is ridiculous, right? Ridiculously hot. And although the settings aren't at 140, the high limit was also higher. It doesn't mean that's how hot it's going to make it. It means that's the highest you want it to go before it starts to reach whatever the thermometer was set at prior. I don't even know. It looked like it was below 120 when I looked at it, you know, on the side panel of the actual heater, but it was still going way higher. So maybe the 120, I don't know, maybe that's a minimum and the high limit is the maximum. So hopefully by lowering that, it will turn down our temperature. So we'll see. Right now it's still set at like 140, slightly above. I'm going to try and wash some clothes in hot water, some bedding and towels and stuff, use it up and see how it goes.